Welcome to Recruiting Intel on the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel, powered by InsideTexas.com. I'm Joe Cook. That's Justin Wells. That's Coach Dub. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you subscribe to InsideTexas.com. Use that first link in our description. Use the QR code. Bam! That's at the top left.
I was about to say, where's the QR code?
It's right there at the top left of the screen. Sign up for just $1. Got a lot of great recruiting insight up today, some RPMs. Had a lot of great recruiting intel up throughout the course of the week. So come check us out over at Inside Texas. Justin.
Joe, it's Tuesday, and we've already got like 6 or 7 recruiting articles in less than 2 days. Now, I don't know about you, but I like our pace so far. What do you think, Charlie?
It's good. I think more on the way too. So hey, that's pretty good.
Hey, it's heating up. Recruiting is heating up. That's why we're here today, brother. There's a lot of stuff going on. We got coaches on the road. We got RPMs, and we got some decisions coming up.
Absolutely. Before we talk about some of those decisions, we got another, I guess it's kind of a decision that we need to get to. Justin, you were on the road in Baton Rouge this past weekend. The Louisiana State track meet was going on. Texas commit Easton Royal was there, won the state 100 meter title, and spoke with you a little bit about what's important in his recruitment, the schools coming after him, and the state of his Texas pledge.
Yeah, it was fun to get to catch up with Easton. Funny thing about the Louisiana State track meet, it rains every year, the same time every year, and they won't change the date. They literally just they accept it that they are going to sit there and wait, and they'll run in the rain, and that's exactly what they did. This kid ran a 10.17 in the rain. Do y'all understand that? At 208 pounds, come on, man, this kid is phenomenal. I'll tell you what, he's very insightful. Once you get to sit down and get some eye contact with him, you really get to learn more and more about him. That was cool for me because everything I'd known before that was just been phone calls. This is what I can tell you. This is he loves Texas. Like, he loves everything about Texas. Like, if you could list the items that Sark and the staff uses to sell recruits, he has the top. He has 1 through 10. Like, he knows everything that Texas can offer him now, in the future, and even further down the road, the bigger picture, the 40-year decision. But man, it is so hard to get a Louisiana talented player out of the state of Louisiana. It just is. LSU just has this way about them. I don't know what it is, but it remains the hardest place in the country to take a player from if LSU doesn't want him, or if they do rather, and they really want this guy. Now, Lane Kiffin's the main reason. He loves Lane Kiffin. Like, if there is a flip, it's going to be because of Lane Kiffin. He never talks about the development or the offense at LSU or even the proximity. He even told us it's not even that important to him. He said if he has to go 8 hours away, then he's going to go 8 hours away. The last time somebody told me that, his name was Ryan Wingo. And so I got a gist that he is completely comfortable with playing at Texas and being a Longhorn and living in Austin and being immersed in that. At the same time, every day he has somebody new telling him he's got to stay home. Every day there's a new friend, a new cousin, a new uncle, a new son, a new coach, a new somebody that tells him you got to stay home. And he's born and raised Louisiana. I thought we had thought there was some Mississippi there before, but no, he's born and raised in Louisiana, and so he's from the boot, and you can tell just by the way he talks. He's ingrained in those Louisiana roots. At the end of the day, I think he's going to have a final decision. I think, and that final decision is going to determine him shutting everything down. And I'm just going to say it right now. I think it's going to be Texas or LSU. If Texas or LSU weren't in it, it would be Ole Miss. They've done an amazing job, and he's got a tie there. One of his former coaches in high school is now the pass game coordinator, Jadarian Carter, at Ole Miss. And so I would pick them. But right now, man, I think it's Texas to lose. Lane Kiffin is going all in. This is not an NIL recruitment, by the way. Easton had a very profound statement. He said, I said, how important is NIL? He said, it's not at all. And I said, how does that work? And he said, I'm going to get paid no matter where I go. The money's going to be there. So I'm not worried about the money. I'm going to get that wherever I go. And I thought, this is why Steve Sarkisian and Chris Jackson and everybody at Texas loves him so much. I love him and Texas sticking together right now. Long way till the end of July. I think that's when we're going to see a decision around July 29th, probably. We'll see his final decision to shut everything down. And that essentially is going to be Texas or LSU.
Charlie, this is an important recruitment just because of the fact that what Easton Royal demands from Texas, and I'm not talking about NIL, but just the intention-wise, NIL does factor in that part. I know it may not matter to Easton, but they've got only so much. They have money that they have to spread the right way around. We had an RPM this morning go in from Justin for Bryson Thrower
and Charlie.
Charlie. Sorry. We also had, you've been all over the Monshun sales recruitment. This is the bird in the hand, though, to where you can figure out the rest of that 3-man class.
Right.
And if it includes Thrower, that's already a strong group of 2 to where they go find another.
Yeah.
You're all, like I said, you're all over Monshun sales. But this is the bird in the hand that Texas needs to hang on to, because those other 2 in the bush, you don't know if you have them quite yet.
No, definitely. Look, and they all bring something different to the table. But I think, Royal's your home run threat who can do it all. You can get the ball at all 3 levels, screen, over the middle, the 5 to 18 yards, or he can just go deep, right? With other guys, I'm not saying they can't run the other routes, can't do all the other things, but then they're your 50-50 ball winners who have great speed and great leap ability. So I think they complement each other very well. But remember, Royal is just a little different with the ball in his hands, man. He's hard to bring down over space. Justin just said he weighs 208 pounds, man. How many kids in high school weigh that and run like that and can move and run all the routes? And so you add Thrower in, you add Sales, whoever it may be, is that number 2. We like Thrower to be that second guy on the other side of Royal, man. I think you add some pieces that this offense can be explosive and they can complement each other very well. Whoever that third guy is, hey, look, I think you got a great trio, but you start with Royal. You want to keep him, got him committed, keep him that way, because he's your ace. He's your do-it-all guy. Now he's on punt return, man. What can he do? Good Lord. You had that with the pieces they already have on offense, but you speak about, I know this is 27 recruiting, but you look at the pieces they already have, and Jermaine Bishop and other guys, it's like, Texas can have their own 4x1 team, man, and they can run. These guys can absolutely fly. And so, I don't know. I like to see how this is going to shape out. Like I said, we like Thrower to be that second receiver to join Royal, so we'll see what happens.
And Royal would like to run track at Texas as well.
Yeah.
They told him you can do what you want. So
let's go into Thrower real quick. Y'all both put in those RPMs. I know I'm kind of springing that on y'all, but fresh on y'all's mind. What has Texas in position right now for y'all to join a little bit of a chorus of RPMs for Thrower to end up at Texas? Coach, let's start with you.
Yeah, look, I think Texas just had its hooks in Thrower for a long time, starting with Chris Gilbert over a year ago, recruiting when they were recruiting Legend Bay. So they got to know who Thrower is. Chris Jackson has built a great relationship with him. Look, everybody here speaks highly of Thrower. Every defensive coordinator, every coach, like he's the hardest cover in the DFW. Like they cannot match up. They got a game plan for this kid. He was able to do what he was able to do last year with, Legend playing quarterback, who's really not a quarterback as we see he's playing running back at Ohio State. But Thrower is just an absolute stud who hasn't reached his ceiling yet. Like Texas has done a great job. Him and his family love Texas. It's always been Texas, no matter with Ohio State coming in, with Georgia trying to come in late. It was Texas and Illinois, right? And give credit to Illinois because they were in this definitely. Coach Justin Stepp up there did a great job. Maybe just because his name is Justin too, who knows? But still, I mean, they did a great job recruiting Thrower. But at the end of the day, like he always wanted to stay close to home. And I would say, the other schools like A&M, I don't think those guys were ever really in it. I think it's always kind of been Texas. And so, now the time is here. Texas ramped up their efforts to recruit him. And I think now that it's mutual, that it's the perfect fit.
You know what Inside Texas Redders, what the readers learned yesterday? That he's got a commitment date. He's got a time. He's gonna get his spot, guys. July 17th. We love Texas here. You could almost go through a process of elimination because if Eric McFarland winds up at Texas A&M, they're not going to have the NIL capital or stretch to be able to do that. Illinois, like Charlie said, has been kind of sneaky in here. Ohio State is actually pretty sneaky in here, using Kyle Parker, using Legend Bay, which Charlie has actually reported before. I've talked to Thrower probably 24 times in the last month, and I really liked where this is trending and wanted to make sure we got his blessing before we did it.
Absolutely. Before we keep going, got to show some love to Roback, RHOBACK.com. I say it every time, but it's true every time. I'm getting a new email with new gear every single day. They got hats, polos, joggers, officially licensed UT gear that you see right there on the screen. All great stuff. So use that code INSIDE20 at rowback.com, 20% off for all new customers. Again, they got your golf gear. They got your beach and lake gear. They got everything gear, pool gear. You're going to need it this summer with Rowback, RHOBACK.com. Charlie, let's jump around the DFW Metroplex a little bit. We went from North Forney, which that's the Mesquite side,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there we go. Red Oak, I know that's 35 East. You drive through that on the way up. I think I've actually stayed in Red Oak for an OU game before, which was a little bit of a mistake just because of the distance. But either way, Dylan McGee, an athlete, a little bit of a baseball player too, correct?
Yeah.
Someone who's got a lot of talent on the gridiron as well, coinciding with the fact that Eric Naleen reported yesterday that Texas is recruiting commit Greedy James as a corner. Dylan McGee may fit into the picture as a safety, and he's even got a decision date in the top 3 here today.
Yeah, he got his decision date for June 25th. So Texas has the last official visit on the 15th. So that's always good. But look, I've been knowing this kid since he was a freshman when I met him, and Texas was the offer he always wanted. I know he got it this spring in January, but Texas has really ramped up their efforts in recruiting him. He hears from Coach Will Muschamp, Mark Orfe, and Blake Gideon. So, I mean, you getting all 3 guys on the defensive side hitting you up. You let you know how important you are. But they like him. They think he's versatile to play any position, and he's open to it. He can play safety. He can play nickel. He can play corner. I think he's an X-factor type of guy. You see some film here. He's going to play corner. He's going to play receiver. I know at Red Oak he started out as a freshman at receiver at Red Oak, which is hard to get on the field there because they got a lot of talent. But to play varsity as a freshman kind of speaks to what kind of athlete he is or kind of player he can be. And like I said, he's good in baseball, center field, shortstop, and he also runs track. So, man, this kid can kind of do it all. He's kind of growing to that 6'1.5" frame now. He's kind of filling out a little bit, but, man, he's a stud and a tremendous athlete. And so I can definitely see him at, playing free safety at Texas, maybe covering, getting off the hash and cover 2 or playing center field like he does in baseball and really tracking the ball well, man. He'll come down and hit you too. So he's not afraid. I love this kid. I love his attitude. The one player he looks up to is Warren Roberson with the attitude and the mindset. He just wants to be a dog. And so, hey, if that tells you anything about him, Warren Roberson, we all know about him. So,
yeah. Roberson is a creature of his own being.
I mean, I was looking at his film, and I was about to say D'Angelo Pons, and then you go, he's 6'1".
That's what I thought. 6'1". I'm like, when did Dylan McGee get 6'1"?
Oh. Yeah, like there's that opens him up a little bit more, I feel like, to being able to – I like that free safety discussion. It sounds like he's open to it. But, man, you got some good cover skills there as well.
He's so light on his feet.
Oh, yeah.
There's no heavy steps there. He just glides.
Exactly. One more guy to talk about, then a few odds and ends to hit. We have a decision this Friday that I think I know Texas fans need to be tracking. That is Brock Williams.
Shut up. That was me. I accidentally bumped the table, and he thinks the armored guard's coming through.
Well, I think Texas.
Sorry to interrupt you. But
no, it's all good.
Was rude.
I think Texas and Jeff Banks have been pounding the table for Brock Williams for a while. Not the most familiar recruiting place for the Longhorns, Libertyville, Illinois, which is kind of out. I mean, I guess you could call it Chicagoland, but it almost looks like its own area. But you've got JT Geraci in the class up from New Jersey. And Justin, it's looking very likely that Texas will have a second tight end and a highly ranked tight end at that. And Brock Williams announcing this Friday.
I just watched that last play where he was trucking those poor DBs at that 6'5", 230, 35-pound frame. This is the first elite tight end on Jeff Banks' watch. Jatavian Sanders was not recruited by Sark staff. That was a Tom Herman hangover. Gunnar Helm was a 3-star that they turned into an NFL tight end.
Also a holdover.
Also, you're correct. You're absolutely right. Also a holdover. And so a lot of times people have been kind of wondering, well, Coach Banks, who came in with all these big recruiting chops, he's one of the highest paid, I think, recruiting coordinators of an assistant in the country. At least he was at one point. Man, this is the guy you got to get. Like they've put 3 players in the NFL in the last 3 drafts that play tight end, and that's big. Brock Williams loves that idea of that development. He loves the idea of going in and actually playing early. He would have an opportunity. And look, you're knocking off Ohio State and Georgia. Those 2 guys, listen, Ohio State may not, they're always formidable in anything, but man, you take a tight end away from Georgia, you're doing something. And I think that's what Brock Williams has done. Look, he has been wanting to make this decision for feels like 5 months now. So it's all this has kind of been building up. But at the end of the day, we love where Texas sits. Obviously, we've got picks in for Texas. I think this is the first time Jeff Banks, he's not bringing home 15 tuna after this fishing trip. He's bringing home the 2,000-pound marlin.
Coach, watching his film, with tight ends, it's always a position that has a lot of projection, especially when you think about this guy's returning punts on the screen right now. But I always like the fact that these running routes from those tight end positions that you're going to see him playing at the next level, but also like the fact that they're like, yeah, we need this guy returning kicks, shows just how athletic he is and what he could become in the pass game.
Yeah, I think he's just a complete tight end. I don't think we've seen that in the last even recruiting classes. Everybody's limited to what they can do. This guy can play in line or he can flex out. Once he gets the ball in his hands, he's special. I see why everybody in the country's out there like a Georgia. He looks like a guy that goes to Georgia, and goes see a stockpile behind that lineup over there, and they just develop. But Texas, I feel like just has a complete tight end, or is going to get a complete tight end. This guy, man, look, this kid is tremendous. Like coming off, he run the seam, show his numbers. He flattens off his route, kind of runs the basic. Like all right, that's my ball, 50-50 ball.
Quarterback just put a good ball there.
Like, oh, now we're Wildcat. Like, he's the athlete 5-star in the NCAA that you just put at tight end because he's bigger than everybody else. He weighs 225, 230. So he does it all. And now he's flexed out wide. I mean, what can he not do? I can't wait to see how he grows, how much weight he puts on. But the fact that he's willing to mix it up as an inline blocker, you can put him as an H-back in the backfield, whatever you want to do with this guy. He's a mismatch. So this would be a great, great pickup for the Longhorns, man. I'm just trying to see if he caught that actually out the back of the end zone. Had to follow the camera.
I'll have to check.
There's a chance his twin brother Reed Williams will join him in Austin. If Brock does pick Texas, Reed would be a preferred walk-on. But Reed also has a few Division I offers, so that's not necessarily settled yet. But if Brock were to pick Texas, don't be surprised if his twin brother Reed Williams joins him.
Oh, I'm sold. Look at that block.
There was one clip I saw where he was like very clearly bracketed, and it's just he still found a way to make a play.
Oh.
And that was something that really impressed me. And this isn't a pure bracket, but boom, okay, we got 2 guys coming. I'll take 2 guys on in the block game.
Who wants to remember who the last player Texas got from Illinois?
I don't even know this one. Not even going to try.
I think I know. I'm not trying to be definitive, but I'm almost I'm almost positive. I'll spit that out. Charlie will remember this guy, Marquise Johnson, Champaign, Illinois, committed to Mac Brown in that class of 2002, I believe.
Oh,
it was either 2001 or 2002. He was a borderline 4 or 5-star. He never made it to campus. Something happened and he never made it to campus. He wound up playing at Texas Tech like 2 years later. But he was like a borderline 5-star. Texas went in there, grabbed him. That's when I think Robert Timmons was in that same class. And you remember how talented that guy was. Yeah. He got run as a true freshman at Texas. Robert Timmons would have been a man. Marquise Johnson's the last guy returned. If someone else knows in the chat, or if someone else watching this on YouTube or at Inside Texas remember someone different, please let me know. But the last person I can think of was Marquise Johnson. And he signed, but he never actually made it to campus.
Couple odds and ends. One from yesterday, Eric, again, we had kind of mentioned this, went down to Manville, saw Greedy James, sees him as a corner. Texas sees him as a corner. All these other schools circling him now, see him as a corner, opens up some safety spots. Y'all see that maybe being a better fit for him at the next level?
I mean, I do. I think everybody sees that now. He went to all these Under Armour camps and shut down everybody in man cover, showing his ability. I think that changed a lot of people's mind about him and what he could be, not just a safety, but hey, this kid can line up on the island and shut you down completely. So another versatile DB who can play safety, but man, he has some man cover skills to play corner all day long.
And the old DB rules still apply. you're a corner until you're a safety. Like that's just the way it works. And if Greedy James' best value is at corner, and we believe it is, I'll tell you what it does. It makes the Junior James recruitment very important. The kid out of Alabama who's going to be in Texas for an official visit in June. Alabama is probably the school to beat there, but he was on campus back in like late March, early April. He looks fantastic. The safety position is going to be interesting in the running back position. Who joins Noah Roberts and who else they add in that back end? Because last year, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't Yaheem Riley the only safety take? Teray Davis was more of like a corner nickel in a sense.
Davis was very late, so they had Riley in the fold.
I think they have to get it 2 here, guys. I really do. I think they have to get 2, and I think one of them has to be a G. And so this is important. I think this is important. And also it makes Greedy James that much more valuable. This was a great early evaluation by Texas. And we're seeing more and more of those from this staff as the years progress.
One other thing, Justin, Texas checked in, speaking of that running back recruiting, checked in Waco with Lathan Wisenton. He is a Notre Dame commit. Maybe you can say Texas finished second for as much as that's worth, but Longhorns and Jabbar Jaluk still checking in on the Waco Midway product.
Yeah, they went through. Jaluk just wants to be thorough. He wants to make sure that he's just continuing that relationship with Wisenton. You never know what could happen. Marcus Freeman takes a job in the NFL next year, and he may one flip before signing day. You never know. You don't burn the bridge. And Wisenton is the type of kid that I would recruit through the whistle just to maintain that relationship. Outstanding kid. Notre Dame wants him. Notre Dame just had 2 running backs go in the first round. Running backs don't even get drafted in the first round anymore. So just to give you an idea, and they love to come to Texas for their running backs. So that's another good evaluation. But here's the thing. They check in on Lathan Wisenton, but there is an offensive tackle that they really like there for 2029. His name's Jordan Richardson. He's 6'7", 290 pounds. I believe he just turned 15 years old. He's got really good feet. He's being coached by a really good O-line coach at Waco Midway in Hayden Wall. He's going to be one. He's already stacking some offers already. Texas has eyes on him, and we have an update over at InsideTexas.com.
We'll have plenty on Inside Texas, so make sure you go check that out. Use that first link in our description. Use that QR code at the top left of the screen. Sign up for just $1 as we bring the latest and greatest recruiting intel to you over on IT. Justin, Charlie, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. See you next time on the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel powered by InsideTexas.com.